What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to talk about 5 tips to succeed as a Pokemon investor, and these aren't really ranked from like most crucial to kind of crucial. I feel like all these are kind of evenly very needed into this to become successful, because they all kind of make together Pokemon investing. You know what I mean? If you don't have one, you don't have the other, kind of thing like that. You know what I mean? It's like a balance beam. If you don't have the other side too much on there, it's kind of leveled out. You know, you gotta level it out. So, all right, let's get into the tip. Number one is gonna be, do not bet the house on one set. Okay, I know a lot of people have heard this before, but it really makes sense. Okay, let's say example. I'm gonna give you an example. Surging Sparks. Okay, I know Surging Sparks is doing really good right now, and the thing is with Surging Sparks and kind of sets like this is there's a lot of FOMO kind of surrounded right this. Like Pokemon, everybody knows right now, Pokemon, the whole hobby is kind of like on a pedestal right now and kind of really high up there, and everybody knows about it, everybody's talking about it. So there's a lot more people that's involved in this right now. Just give it a little while, let it cool down a little bit, and some of these sets will probably go back down a little bit. Like Surging Sparks is probably gonna go back down, but it's sold out in the Pokemon Center, so you know it's kind of an interesting. But if you did bet on Pokemon, if you really feel strongly about a set, like Surging Sparks, I felt strongly about this set. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I didn't bet everything. I didn't sell everything. I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in on this set. No, do not do that at all. Go heavier than you have gone into other sets. Let's say you've said for yourself that you want to go, okay, I like this set coming out. I like Surging Sparks. I'm going to give an example. Let's say you said, I like Surging Sparks. Let's say every other set before this, Stellar Crown, Twilight Masquerade, you've only bought one booster box, okay? Let's say you really like Surging Sparks and you feel really strongly about this. You're like, okay, I can buy this at $100. I feel like it's $200 box in 2 months. I feel like it's gonna happen. I want to bet some more on it. This, that, and the other. Okay, so what I would suggest you do, like I said, you've been buying one booster box of other sets and you felt strongly about them, but not. I mean, you didn't feel really like, okay, this set's gonna be a killer set like Surging Sparks. So you're like, okay, then that you buy, I would suggest you to buy either at least double of what you normally buy or triple what you normally buy. For me personally, I felt really strongly about Surging Sparks. I've been normally buying 1 to 2 cases of a set. Stellar Crown, I bought I think 2 cases of the set, but Surging Sparks, I bought 4 cases of the set. Yeah, it's worked out, but you know, I kind of felt really strongly about the set, so I went heavier into it. Like I said, I wouldn't bet the house on it. Yes, you could succeed. Yes, you would have succeeded with Surging Sparks, but there's still that risk factor there. You know what I mean? So unless you're like, you have to be. You don't want to bet on something really heavy. Like, for example, Prismatic Evolutions. I will bring up this topic right here because Prismatic Evolutions, I know, is a really great set. It's an evolution set. I've said personally that it's going to be the next Evolving Skies. I've said it. People don't think it is, but this is my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I think it's going to be the next Evolving Skies. I think it is. Doesn't mean I'm going to go crazy on and bet everything I have. No, not at all. Because there's a couple of factors that can happen with betting everything on one set. Pokemon can reprint it to the moon. Look at Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is an amazing set. Look how much is still out there. It's still getting reprinted to this day. They literally had a thing at Sam's Club, literally 14 packs for like $40. You see what I'm saying? So even if you went heavy onto Crown Zenith, you're like, oh, I believe in Crown Zenith. It's an amazing set. Guess what happened? Boom. You're still getting reprinted today. So you haven't really seen no price jump. It's kind of stays steady. You know what I mean? So you gotta make sure you buy. If you feel good about a set, just buy heavier into it. Do not bet everything on it. That's what I would really suggest. That is how I really feel like you take more risk. You take more risk with it, but at the same time, you're kind of... And investing really in general, I will say to this too, is kind of... You want to put some risk out there, but you don't want to put too much risk to kind of put in jeopardy your whole entire collection or where you've gotten up to this point. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'll say there. So make sure you can take the risk for, like I said, go heavier into the set, but do not put everything on it, because you don't know what happens, and you don't want to you want to get the gains, but you don't want to sacrifice these gains that you've already had to get more gains. You see what I'm saying? Because then you kind of start getting in the thing of being like, it doesn't work out really well. Trust me, because sometimes, yes, like I said, Surging Sparks would have worked out, but the next set you try to do it to, you're like, okay, I'm just going to sell all this, go into the next set, sell all this, go into the next set that I think is big. One of those sets is going to burn you. You see what I'm saying? It's going to happen. I'm telling you that right now. So it's better off to have that risk. That's how you really succeed over the long term, is kind of take less risk off the table. You see what I'm saying? Like, make bets you feel for sure about, but at the same time, do not go crazy into a set that you feel crazy about. You want to put risk out there, but you don't want to put too much risk to jeopardize your entire collection. Okay, that's the first number one. I know I kind of went heavy on this, but I feel like a lot of people I've heard people do this and stuff like that, and I feel like it's a really bad thing, so I went heavier on this one. Now let's go to number 2. Number 2 kind of goes with number 1, but it's not really the same thing, is make sure you have cash around and don't spend all your cash, okay? You see what I'm saying? This makes sense because, okay, like I said before, Prismatic Evolutions, you feel really strongly about that set, you want to put all your money into it. Don't do that at all. Trust me. We know Prismatic Evolution is going to be an amazing set, but at the same time, you don't want to put all your cash on the table because, let's say, for example, let's say Twilight Masquerade. Let's say it gets a massive reprint. You're like, okay, I feel really strongly about Twilight Masquerade. I have no Twilight Masquerade. Boom. They go down to $100 a box. $100 a box. Let's just say that happens. They go from $160 down to $100 a box. You can buy a Twilight Masquerade at $160 right now, and they've already had a reprint. So you want to get into that right then and there. Like, you know what I mean? You want to have cash ready for deals. Not even really ready for reprints. It's ready for other stuff that comes out. At the same time, Pokemon releases sets every other month, or every month pretty much. Like, we hear about a new set. So you want to be ready for those new sets to come out and be ready to invest into those new sets. And also, you want to be ready for deals that pop up. For example, I will give an example of me personally, what I have done where I've had cash around. Okay, so I've looked around on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, hey, I was ready looking for some booster boxes. I had some extra cash around, and I got into this buddy. I bought a Burning Shadows booster box from him, this and the other. I got like $20 off a deal, but he had other booster boxes. He had a Cosmic Eclipse and a Lost Thunder. He's like, hey, I need some cash. I was like, I got some cash. What do you want to do me a deal? So I bought the Cosmic Eclipse, and I got the Lost Thunder for free. You see what I'm saying? That was the greatest deal I've had before ever, and probably ever will have. But I'm saying, I'm lucky I had cash around for there. Yeah, it was $1,000, but at the same time, it was worth it to me. You see what I'm saying? I had the cash, he didn't have the cash. So you have to be ready for deals to pop up, and be ready for kind of, let's say you hear somebody being like, hey, I want to sell my collection, I want to get rid of it, I need cash now. Those are the kind of deals you want to make sure you have cash around ready for, and also when sets come out and stuff like that. Because I would say Pokemon Center kind of ETBs and stuff like that. Let's say they've come out on Pokemon Center, you want to make sure you have cash around for those. But at the same time, you can kind of pre-order those and make sure you have cash really ready when those comes out. Like Prismatic Evolutions, everybody's already kind of pre-ordered those, they sold out, but they don't charge you until that week of, which is really, really good. Some of these sites kind of charge you before that. Like, I've already bought some from some sites. That's kind of the sketchy thing, but you know, I'm just saying that there. But like I said, make sure you have cash around. It is very, very, very useful because you never know when an opportunity will come up. Okay? Sounds good. Because you want to be ready for anything that pops up, because like I said, there's deals that always come on the market. You got to be ready for them. To always have cash around, no matter what, have cash around. Do not go crazy into a set. Do not invest everything, because sometimes this stuff takes a little while to go up. Because let's say you put your cash into Surging Sparks, but it's continually going up and up and up and up. You don't want to sell it right away and go into something else, so you want to have that cash around being ready. Okay, that's number 2. Let's get to number 3. Okay, this is another big one that I feel like a lot of people mess up on, is don't think short term, think long term. Okay? Okay. Alright, so I kind of made a video of this a little bit ago, kind of the singles versus sealed, why sealed is so good, but you have to think long term whenever you're investing, because typically with these products, if you look back at every single booster box in the past, none of these booster boxes over, I say, a 5-year period has gone down too much. You see what I'm saying? You haven't lost your money on them. If you bought for, maybe some of them for MSRP, but typically when these boxes come out, you can get them under MSRP. Well, we're kind of in another day and age right now, so it's kind of hard to get them under MSRP. But typically before, you could get these boxes for under MSRP. Like, for example, I'm going to give an example for me personally. I like giving examples of what I've had so you can kind of understand it really. One example, when 151 Japanese got a reprint, I went like, okay, I'm not worried about this set in the next 5 to 6 months. I'm not worried about that at all. But I'm like, okay, I feel like this set is really going to be strongly over the next coming years. In the next 2 to 3 years, this set will be really, really strong. People will want to get this set, want to open this set more. It's one of those kind of sets that kind of hold its value, I feel like. So I was like, hey, they did a massive reprint on this. Everybody's wanting to get rid of this box right now for cheap as it's ever been. I'm going to go heavy into this. So I bought 3 cases. I feel really good about that. Yes, it kind of didn't work out. It went up higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to stay around $55 till the end of the year, and already it's at like $80. And they're because it was at 100, but they got another reprint, or it's going to get another reprint, or it's in the middle of another reprint right now, so it's going down. You see what I'm saying? But you kind of have that long-term outlook, because you kind of get away from reprints. You don't have to worry about reprints. You don't have to worry about any other factors coming into this hobby. But I'm not going to lie, with me personally, I've gotten lucky. Most of these boxes that I've bought has gone up since I've bought them, really. You see what I'm saying? And I've only been buying boxes for about like a year or so now, and every single box that I've bought has done really, really well. Like Twilight Masquerade, I bought 2 cases of that. I'm like, okay, I feel strong about this set. I'm already 60% up on that. Surging Sparks, I didn't really worry about that short term. It's already gone up almost 100%, literally almost 100% of what I got back, and that was within a 2-3 month period. Paldean Evolved, I think that's kind of stagnant right now, but I got into that because I knew I didn't have any, so when there was a deal, I was ready for it. So just think long term. Long term is really where you work out in this hobby. I know if you want to get cash, that's kind of another reason that goes back to the previous one that I had, number 2, 4, number 3. I don't know what's number 1 right now, but that's what kind of goes back to that, having that extra cash around, because you can also kind of weather some storms when it happens, and you don't have to sell any of your products, or you don't have to do anything like that, because you have that cash around because you're ready for it. Okay, all right. See, now we're on to the next one. Okay, number 4. This kind of goes back into the one that I kind of ended with. Okay, so if your product goes down, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. If you've seen your product go down, you should be kind of happy. Like I'm saying, like, for example, Paul Bane Evolved. When it went down, because they got a little reprint, I was like, hey, this is a really great time to get into. Nobody doesn't like this set right now. Everybody wants to kind of get out of it because they hear reprints, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, okay, bought it up. And another thing, too, that I want to say, too, same thing with 151. I'm in 151 Japanese right now, is it went down. Am I going to sell it? No, because I feel like long term it's going to do really, really well. The main thing with this would be is just make sure you have cash around for this for long term. I mean, if things go down, because if they don't go down, you don't want to sell them. You don't want to be in that circumstance where your products are going down and you need cash. That is like the worst case scenario to be in. And sometimes that happens for people when they get over leveraged and they kind of go heavier into sets and market starts trending down. They're like, oh, let me get out of this. They start losing money because they can't hold on to their products. Like everything right here, I can hold on to. I don't have to sell any of it. Do I want to sell any of it to profits and stuff like that? Yeah, maybe, probably. But the sets that I can kind of, it's a good thing to diversify too. I'm going to add this little, I guess, side tip. It's good to diversify too, because when some sets are doing really, really well, you can sell them and buy the sets that are doing bad and they're not really performing well for you and buy more of those. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of works itself out. That's why I buy every single set, me personally, and buy a decent amount of it. So if it outperforms and I feel like it's doing really well and I feel like another set's undervalued, I can sell that, buy another. That's kind of really where you want to work at, and that's where you want to get to the point too. But all right, let's get into the final tip, number 5. Okay, so before we go into tip number 5, do me a favor. If you're still watching this, make sure you like this button so I know y'all actually enjoy these kind of videos and I can keep trying to make these videos for you, because typically before, people really enjoyed these videos. So I kind of keep wanting to bring videos that people actually enjoy me kind of talking about and kind of making about. But let me know down in the comments if you like these kind of videos and want me to make more of them. I would love to. Just let me know, because then I can kind of know where to kind of point more to make more of them. Okay, thank you. All right, number 5. Okay, so I kind of made like a whole video surrounded by this, but I'm gonna kind of put this in here too, because this is a big one too. Is don't listen to outside noise. Don't make other people make your opinions on sets. Okay, do me a favor, when a set comes out and you like the set, do me a favor, don't listen to other people. Don't take no advice from other people. You can listen to people's advice, but take a step back for a second. Be like, hey, do I actually like this set? Do I really think this set's going to perform in a while? What do I like about the set? What do I think is going to be good about it? How do I think people are going to like it? Not from the people, like, how do I think, not like going based off what other people's opinions, but how do I think people are going to like these cards? Are there some chase cards in here that people really like? How do I think this set's going to perform? Because you can hear outside noise where people are like, hey, this set sucks. This set's not going to do good. We've heard that with Twilight Masquerade. Boom. Surging Sparks, boom. Look what happens with those two sets. You see what I'm saying? So you have to take a step back and think of your own opinion. Me personally, I was like, hey, with Surging Sparks, I was like, hey, this set is good. It has a Pikachu, Latios. There's a lot of other chase cards in this set. I feel like this set's going to do really, really well. Of course, everybody did. I kind of figured that was going to happen, and I took a more risk on it because I felt good and strongly about the set. A lot of people were like, hey, these crowns suck. Nobody likes these crowns. What are people doing? Why are people buying this set? Blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? It's all outside noise. You can't be like, because if you listen to certain people with negativity, that's another thing too. Don't listen to people that have like a negative mindset over time, because that's not really gonna help you succeed. It's better to be positive about things and fail than be negative about things all the time, because you're not gonna make moves. You're not gonna be like, hey, there's different things. Okay, that Latios in this set does not look good. I don't like the way it's angled. I'm not gonna buy into the set just because of that. Pikachu has a Terra crown. It has a crown on its head. I don't like that. That is not good. Me personally, I don't like that. What you like, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. What you like doesn't really matter in this hobby. It does, of course, but like in the grand scheme of things, it matters what the other people around in this hobby actually like. A lot of people love that Pikachu. The Pikachu looks really, really well. The crown doesn't really have to interfere with it at all. It gives it kind of a glow. I want to make a video about those whole Terra crowns, because I need a lot of stuff about Terra crowns. Terra crowns are really not that bad. They're honestly really not. But that's another video for another day. But like I said, make your own opinion on these sets. What do you think about these Pokemon? What do you think they're going to really do? What do you think people are going to perform? Is a price point good for me to buy in? All right, now we have number 6. And I have another kind of side tip too that I kind of thought about. Another one that is going on right now in this hobby. Do not buy into FOMO. Do not buy into it, because it is very, very dangerous. Do not buy into the hype. Am I saying that? I have a problem with this sometimes. I personally do. I'm trying to get better with it. You know, see what I'm saying? It's good to know what's going on, but at the same time, you can kind of take some risk with the FOMO and kind of use it to your advantage, but at the same time you have to kind of limit your risk. Like we said earlier, make sure you don't bet the house on it, like Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, everything like that, all this stuff coming out, because we never know what's going to happen. Pokemon can print an unlimited amount of this stuff right now. The way they're looking, it doesn't look like it, but you never know. Pokemon can turn on those printers and just start printing out things. You see what I'm saying? But demand's really high. There's a lot of different factors in this, but you have to make sure to don't buy into the FOMO. Don't bet your house on the FOMO. Do not bet the whole house on it. Do not bet all your product and the money you have on the FOMO. Make sure you buy into it a little bit, because you can use it to your advantage. Like with Surging Sparks, use it to your advantage. But at the same time, don't go crazy into it where you're going to burn yourself and destroy yourself. Okay? That is a big thing that I see a lot of people doing, and it kind of hurts a lot of people in the long term. But sometimes you can use it to your advantage. Just make sure you do it in moderations whenever you're doing it. Buying into FOMO. You see what I'm saying? Like me too. I'm personally doing it too. Like for example with Prismatic Evolutions, I'm trying to be careful where I'm buying, how much I'm buying of the set, because yes, it could perform very well. I believe it's going to perform really, really, really well. But at the same time, I'm not going to bet every single thing on this set. I'm not going to go crazy, insane into this set. I mean, I am a little bit, but you know, like, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of hard. I'm having a problem with that. But certain things, when you feel strongly about it yourself and you see different things, because you have to really, with FOMO and buying into FOMO, you have to take a step back and realize, is this set, even with the FOMO not being here, is this set actually going to perform really well? For example, I'm going to bring up Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic Evolutions has Evolutions 32 SARs. Don't matter what's going on in this market right now, that is a crazy set to have in the insane pull rates for those cards. Do you understand what that means? So kind of take it from that perspective. It doesn't matter what everybody's thinking. Everybody's like, oh, Evolutions, blah, 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 blah. But you see what I'm saying? There's different kind of, at the same time, you can kind of use the FOMO to help you invest into sets. Just be very careful with that and take a step back and think about it. Like, for example, Surging Sparks. Don't go crazy. Be like, oh, it's at 190. It's probably going to hit $200, $300. It's sold out in the Pokemon Center. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Better watch out. Because there's certain price points whenever FOMO's like, no. At 150, I personally would have not have bought any Surging Sparks. I would not have bought any myself. Yes, it's at 200. I bought some boxes when they were around like 120. Above that, I don't really feel comfortable buying them. You see what I'm saying? Yes, I knew the set was going to do really well, but I didn't feel comfortable buying those. At a certain price point, you have to stop yourself, because yes, you can miss some sets like that. Yes, of course. But at the same time, like I'm saying, you don't want to go crazy into it, because you never know what can happen. That's the bad thing. That is the kind of thing you have to understand with investing, is you know things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen sometimes. So you kind of have to take that risk off the table and put a portion of it and be like, hey, I'm going to take this risk, but at the same time, if it fails, I'm okay with that. You see what I'm saying? You have to be ready for that too. So hope y'all enjoyed this. Leave a like button if you really enjoyed this, because like I said, I'll make more of these videos. I probably can have another like part 2 of this maybe. Like I said, I was going to do an extra tip, but this video is already long enough. So hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Let me know what you think about the tips. Do you think they're good, bad? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm just talking junk? If you watched to the end, I really appreciate it. See you in the next one. Peace.